Welcome, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Mastercard Lighthouse program. It is the #1 partnership program in the Nordics and Baltics. And with me on the stage today to share more about our program, we have the professor of payments, the prince of partnerships, and the ambassador of the Nordics and Baltics, Matt Tarlsson. Matt, tell us about Lighthouse for those that are new to the ecosystem or new to tech in general.
Thank you, Vincent. Very strong word, but okay. Lighthouse program. It's all about partnership, but it's also all about trying to strengthen the ecosystem for impact tech and fintechs in the Nordic and Baltics. That's what we're trying to do here. Looking for good partnership, but I mean, partnership in the Nordic. I mean, it's 8 countries. It has been there for such a long time. Governments, economies, and now also a shared sense of security coming up.
That's right, Mats. Collaboration is truly world-class. And I can say this a bit as an outsider to this ecosystem, but as somebody that's felt so welcomed and immediately able to collaborate and contribute with people from all over the world. You know, it's not obvious that the Nordics and Baltics is even a coherent concept, right? We have 5 currencies, 8 different languages. We have even multiple time zones, right? If you include Iceland, there's 3 time zones. So it's not exactly obvious that even the Baltic Sea is connecting this group. And yet here we are, collaborating. And I think Lighthouse is such a fantastic example. Like you said, it's not just that our governments have been working together formally for over 30 years now. It's not just that we have Brussels connecting the majority of the countries into the European Union. And it's not just that NATO is this common bulwark of security. It's more than that. We have the banks playing an especially critical role in tying together these different countries, these different currencies, these different time zones. And here we are to talk about some of the fantastic startups that are linking this region together. Yesterday, we mentioned the fact that startups do play a role and are an illustration of the connection points between these cultures. So, of course, the first unicorn ever in these 2 great prolific unicorn-producing countries of Sweden and Estonia were actually founded a Swede moving to Estonia, illustrating the Nordic-Baltic collaboration at its core. And we're here to hopefully find some future unicorns today. Tell us more about what's coming up.
Yeah, so back to today. This is the big grand finale, and we will listen to some pitches, and we will have the winners announced here for the spring program. And they are announced because of their possibilities to partner, but also their progress in the program. So, with no further ado, introduce Lana Brandorna, who's the program manager for Finitive.
Thank you, Mats. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. Mastercard Lighthouse Finitive program was started in 2019, the same year that Mastercard sold its shares to the first Fintech unicorn in Sweden. Since then, we've seen dozens of unicorns sprung up across the Nordics and Baltics, right? And what we can see now, the second wave of these entrepreneurs that have learned through these journeys are founding their own companies. So the last year winner, you remember Single Earth, right? She also was part of the Estonia's unicorn, Pipedrive. Today you will hear one of the founders has been part both of Vinted and also Revolut. So there's so much happening within that space, right? But this program specifically, what's unique about it, while we've had over 100 fintech companies come through our programs, only 20% have been focusing on payment acceptance. So, you know, you go to the restaurant and you're trying to buy whatever, coffee, right? That's you paying with a terminal. Only 20%. But despite that, coincidence, or I don't know, or is it just the right time to innovate this whole space? All 3 of the companies in the finalists today here are focusing on payment acceptance. So, first, I would like to welcome our Danish representative. Please move that way, get a microphone, come off stage. Who is one of the finalists here today, one of the country winners, competing for the overall title, and they are solving payment acceptance for small SMEs. Welcome, Casper, on stage. Woo!
Thank you, Lana. Oh no, where is it? Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Kasper Krogh, the founder and CEO of Vibrant. Together with 25 amazing people, we are on a mission. We're also working with some of the best and leading Fintech angels and VCs out of the Nordics. So today we have in Europe 65 million SMEs out there. A lot of those ranging from independent workers to merchants. A lot of those don't get the support they need from the digital services available. And representing those 65 million people, they are the backbone of the European economy. So out of those, we have 10 million, as Lana said, about accepting card payments. They don't even accept card payments at all. So what Vibrant is all about is that you download our app and instantly return the mobile phone into a payment terminal. So you don't need to have this old legacy hardware anymore. So you instantly get signed up and then you can start taking payments. And in seconds, we can scale up your solution from having 1 terminal to 1,000. So it's pretty cool. Otherwise, what we're building for all the merchants out there is that we are building a product catalog so they can easily, if you have a little restaurant, do 2 lattes, 2 Americanos, etc., and then the shoppers can get that done immediately. So it's super easy for the merchant to facilitate the conversation with the shoppers. Otherwise, we saw a huge need in the gig economy where people like carpenters, they had urgent need to get paid, and a lot of those started using our product as an invoicing engine. So when you're out doing what you need to do, then you can just say 3 hours or 50 euros and then create the invoice and then get paid immediately instead of waiting for all the invoice hassles. A lot of other things happening is loyalty reward and all of that. We're bringing that to the SMEs. And then in the future, today we're actually tackling the European economy. Over time, we want to bring this to Africa. Because what if you have 700 million Android devices there? What if everybody had Vibrant and started using digital payments? Wouldn't we then make the world a better and more secure place? And of course, there is the sustainability. You don't need to have all the legacy hardware. When you have a mobile phone, you don't need to print receipts and stuff like that anymore. And then we are on a path to create a bit of joy between the shoppers and the merchants by a lot of loyalty and all these kind of things. So yeah, that's Vibrant. Thank you.
Applause for Kasper.
So, Lana, you mentioned the fact that 20% of the Lighthouse companies ever since history, and this is over 100 companies now, have been focused on this payment acceptance problem. We should also give the audience a bit of context. We have hundreds of companies applying to this program per year, and the companies that do apply and get in are some of the best in the region. Now,
for sure.
in this particular case, Kasper didn't say it, but 900% growth just in this year for the Vibrant platform is an incredible indication
Round of applause for that.
of Vibrant's ability to grow and of the competitive Fintech companies that we're building here in the Nordics and Baltics.
That's incredible. But now it's time for the next speaker. And the next speaker is focusing on making sure we can seamlessly travel with public and mass transport. And in this way, they are going to solve the issue of urbanization.
And we should say in countries that actually charge for public transportation, especially for their citizens, right? I think Estonia is...
All right, you don't pay here.
Yeah, but
sorry, this is not a market
else,
for the next speaker.
For everybody else, this is a very relevant solution.
Yes. Welcome, Jay from ViaPay.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Jay Jensen. I'm the founder and CEO at ViaPay. We know that the world right now is going through a massive issue where it's getting hotter and hotter every day. And this is due to the amount of carbon being released in the atmosphere. On top of that, more people are now living in urban areas than outside of them since 2007. And this is meant to get to be 2/3 of the world's population by 2050. And these urban areas account for 75% of the pollution occurring in our world today. And a big part of this is the way that we travel in urban areas. 2/3 of our trips are in private vehicles right now. And this not only leads to the pollution in our environment, but also contributes to the amount of congestion in our cities. If we want to make our cities more sustainable, we have to make urban mobility better. And we can do this by increasing the use of mass transit, shared mobility solutions, and electric vehicles. You might ask how a fintech company can help. As Lana said, we're also working in the payment space and on the acceptance side. And the great thing is that people are pretty predictable. We do what's easy. We follow the path of least resistance. For example, 1 in 4 people would use public transportation more if contactless payments were enabled. At ViaPay, we create frictionless payments for urban mobility. We do this for mass transit, shared mobility, and electric vehicle charging. Of course, there are plenty of other payment service providers out there already making transactions happen in many different sectors. So you might ask how we do that differently. Well, a traditional PSP has a transaction that happens immediately. They know the price for the cup of coffee that you're going to buy. They take that transaction and they send it across the payment network immediately. And they do this thousands and thousands of times a day. Very well at that. But in order to create the flexibility required for urban mobility, we had to do something different. So we created what we call our ViaPay Smart Payment Platform. This allows users to simply tap on and off the method of transportation that they want to use as much as they want. And instead of sending those transactions across the network immediately, we aggregate and recognize those taps until we can actually determine what amount should be calculated. This allows us to do a lot of flexible things with our smart pricing. For example, if you have a monthly ticket, you get 1 transaction per month, but you can continue to use your bank card as an identifier and tap on and off your transportation all the time. It also allows us to introduce new business models. For example, we started working with SEB through the Lighthouse program on automatically enrolling all of their 1 million corporate cards in the Nordic and Baltics. This allows their corporate customers to instantly be qualified for special pricing. It also gives them an enrollment into all of their digital receipt solution. If you also look at how traditional payment service providers run, every single channel for online, in-store, etc., creates a ton of integration issue. Since ViaPay creates an omni-channel solution, we're able to, whether a transaction takes place online, through an app, or in person, still send all transactions and taps to our aggregation platform. This lets us do some pretty cool things. We're payment nerds, we get excited about it. So for example, if you were able to go and buy your ticket for the train online and on web, all you have to do is simply take the same bank card to the train with you. You tap it on your inspection device and it recognizes that you've paid and you're checked in. Since joining Lighthouse this March, we've taken our first customer live in Oslo with Flytoget. We're doing about 5,000 transactions a day right now with them. We expect to start 2 new mass transit deals this fall. We're really excited for our first opportunity in the electric vehicle charging space, which we're negotiating right now. And we've had some really, really productive conversations on the shared mobility front. Of course, we're working very closely with Mastercard and are on our way to becoming a Mastercard mass transit partner. We recently raised a round of 3 million euros to be started. We're backed by a great software development firm as well called Xmiris, and have access to their 150 developers, which allows us to grow very quickly. We're really humble. We think we have a small part to play in making this world a little bit better, but we're really excited that we can use our tech for some good. And just the last point, a huge shout out and thank you to Mastercard, to all the partners in the program. It's been a great experience, and we're really happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Great, great. So that was the second.
Well, and I have to say, so Jay is another American living in the Nordics and Baltics alongside people like me.
Yes.
And I have to say, I don't think in America right now, people are selling payments companies as a sustainability solution. And that is a very special treasure that we have here, right? People are thinking about bigger issues in this part of the world. And I think that notion of inclusivity and purpose, both welcoming folks like us into this ecosystem and also doing something that's bigger than just building a company, that is what is so special about this tech ecosystem, and that's what we can hopefully continue to spread through things like the Lighthouse program.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we're not done yet with the pitches, right? We have one last pitch on the Finitive side. Later, we will know who of them actually won the program. But for the next founder, he's solving accepting payments in the hospitality industry. So give it up to Tautvidas from Tippet.
I all want you to take 1 second to try to remember the last time you actually had cash to tip your waiter or bartender. Now, chances are it was quite a while ago. And why is that? Well, because we carry less and less cash. As a consequence, 23 million EU and US waiters are suffering from decreasing tips, which, unsurprisingly, are a vital part of their income. There's no secret, the world is going cashless. In 2021, some countries saw as little as 19% of transactions made in cash. And by 2025, cashless transactions will increase by 85%. This has created ongoing challenges and problems for the hospitality industry, where tipping has historically been heavily reliant on clients having cash on hand. So we've built TipIt. TipIt collects, allocates, and distributes cashless tipping by providing bar and restaurant business owners with an ultra-portable, standalone bank card terminal that is designed with the sole purpose of collecting cashless tips. The best part? Zero integrations for the merchant. For the client, it is as simple as select, confirm, and tap. The transaction is made in 5 seconds, and the rest is done through our own payment processor. For the waiters, we created a smartphone app which they use to track their cashless tips and make scheduled payouts into their personal bank accounts, which allows them to save significantly on taxes on the tips they receive. So we launched in Vilnius last year in Lithuania, and since then we increased our venue count to 150. We expanded to 7 cities. We now transfer to over 120,000 euros worth of cashless tips, and all of this is from less than 4% of the market. Now, because of TipIt, waiters have, on average, received up to 200 euros each month of extra income, making venues that use TipIt increasingly more attractive to potential new staff. So we are working hard to become the most popular cashless tip solution in the EU and US, and to tap into the 23 million waiter and bartender market that receive up to $10 billion of tips each year. So our experience and our user research has proven that the best way to facilitate cashless tips is not with a QR code or an app or a classical POS machine. It's with a separate terminal that is designed just for that, for tipping. So we are raising our pre-seed round, and I'm using this opportunity to tell you about it. We are raising 900K on our pre-seed to further develop the product, expand to new markets, grow the revenue, build our team, and help those 23 million waiters to receive the tips that they deserve. If you want to talk about more, we're going to be here at the Mastercard booth. And if you want to leave some cashless tip with TipIt, the prototype version, there's a food booth outside that you can use to donate to Ukraine and get some drinks, so make a redemption payment over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tautvilas.
That is one of the coolest companies we work with because you can actually see the product at work. It's not so many fintech companies you can go interact with, but I want to say one more thing about TipIt because you guys have, I talked about it yesterday as well, but one of the coolest partnerships out there. And it's an illustration of Nordic and Baltic collaboration at its core. So we started with Carlsberg, the Danish brewing company, right? And you guys said, hey, why don't we work together to get all the waiters at all of the restaurants that serve Carlsberg TipIt? And that is, of course, better for the restaurants. And Carlsberg says, hey, if you want to get TipIt, you got to sell Carlsberg. So it's better for them as well. Fantastic partnership, illustrating Nordic and Baltic collaboration. And I have it from the folks living in Lithuania that they use your product every single day. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So this is just one more example of the kind of companies that are rising to the top of the hundreds and hundreds that are applying to Lighthouse each year, and of course representing the top of the class that they had. It was 5 companies from each country, Lithuania, Denmark, and Norway. You just saw the best of those classes. But I do want to say something special about Lithuania, because Lithuania, Lana, is one of the best fintech ecosystems in the world. And it's easy for us here in the Nordics and Baltics to be a bit humble about this sometimes. But in fact, our next speaker was part of putting together a report on this very subject. She looked at over 230 cities in the world and 65 countries and made a ranking of all of them according to their fintech competence. And do you remember what number Lithuania was on that list?
I do remember. That was definitely in top 5, right?
Yes, it was number 4. And this was the highest scoring country in Europe, actually. Well, the UK was slightly higher, but it was the highest ranking country in the Nordics and Baltics. 5 Nordic and Baltic countries were in the top 20 of that list. We're in a special place when it comes to fintech and payments. Yeah. And I think Susanna is
here. She has worked on a new report and she has gathered new insights, and she's here today with you to tell you more about it. Welcome, Susanna Hannestad, on stage.
Thank you. It's so good to be here and discuss about how the Nordic and the Baltic is punching about their weight. 35 million people in all these countries are doing great. 35 million is a small state in the US, so we are really, really doing it. This is the ground for making, or the playground for making unicorns. We're going to come back to that a little bit later. Our new briefing is about digitalization and the next act of that. So I'm going to put it into a more global perspective, and then, of course, have the angle to the Nordic and the Baltic. What we see, though, is that defining themes now for the next is more digitalizations, and there are different differentiation at the scale. Talent is a key thing, and I know all of you, when you are going after your coders, your CMOs, or whatever that you need to grow and scale your company, that is a key thing. You are competing with a lot of talent. Yes, it's in your country, and it's very good that, like Lithuania, is bringing in a lot of incentives to come and work in Lithuania, as an example. Culture, mindset is a key thing. These are the intangible things that need to be taken here. We are very good at the product and the tech side, but when it comes to the commercialization, there are some more steps to them, and that's more or less the theme also for the presentation. Digital twins. We see that the metaverse is coming. Yes, the use cases are still lagging, so these needs to be worked on. And then digital currency. This is becoming too big to fail, and we see all the federal governments that are doing all these things, and there's a lot of cases throughout. And the Riksbanken in Sweden is doing quite a lot with the support of the other Nordic countries to work on that one. And then the enablement, open banking is a key, taking a while before it's getting to the use cases, but we see more and more and more. And here the Nordic and the Baltics are doing quite well. We're going to come back to some of them. And of course, the cyber and the security and the ID, also the onboarding and the KYC and AML is key to this area, and is becoming more and more vital for the solutions that you're making. And then we have the digital access, which is vital, but it's all about getting to the growth, the income. And we have 2 cases here, one for fast in the US that was fast going up, but also fast going down. And then you have the checkout in UK, which is really making it. Klarna is the benchmark in all these cases, which we will also see later. And what are the biggest opportunities? We're going to come back to the open banking. SME is doing, quite a few of you in the programs are focusing on the SME, which is underserved big time. The regulation can be felt as a cumbersome thing, but this is an asset coming from Europe, and the Nordic and the Baltic is taking on the regulations big time. This will be all over the world shortly. Super marketplaces like WeChat and Gojek. This is all about mobility, in particularly on the Gojek coming from Indonesia. And then the collaboration that has been mentioned so many times here, and Vincent is the key catalyst helping this message coming across. Sustainability, ESG, and the Nordic and the Baltic is absolutely high end when it comes to the ESG. I'm going to give you some example later on. Back to the countries and the ranking. Some adjustments since last time. Still 5 Nordics that is there. Sweden, Lithuania, Estonia, Finland, And then at the top 20, Denmark. These are countries that are really making visibility throughout the world, and we should be very proud that we have all these fintechs that is working and scaling, which is the key thing. Just mentioning Uruguay, they have grown. This is a tiny little country in Latin America, which is growing fast there, and they had their unicorn a few years ago. So this is growing, and they want to be closer to Europe and the Nordic, and we are welcoming to do business together with us in the natural collaboration phase. Reasons for doing well. Yes, we have the history, we have the infrastructure that we are depending on, and Nordic is leading on collaboration, openness, education, easy way to do business. This is assets that we are thriving in. Not all countries is having it like we are having in the Nordic and the Baltic. London, still a hub, and we can also learn something from Israel, Singapore and Australia. They are doing quite well. And US, pure size, and they have the entrepreneurial spirit. And of course, coming to investors later on, we will see that they are top level on that one. Open banking. Here we have three cases: compliance, creativity, and convergence. We see Nordea is one of the examples in this area, and having use cases in integrating, and then having premium APIs. On the creativity says, we see that the Latin America and BBVA down in Spain, they are doing sandboxes and so forth to evolve into it. And then we have the convergence between Starling Bank and Goldman Sachs, taking it further. These are some examples. The local one, we have Aya together with Mastercard, and I would know that Mastercard is very proud to have Aya in there, or acquired them to it, so they have big offerings now. Aya was through the Lighthouse program and did very well there, and now they're working with quite a lot of clients, and I'm just giving you a few one. Danske Bank, you all know. Lunar is the big fintech coming out of Denmark that is really taking on, and then Visma, a big corporate accounting company out of Norway, which is very happy to work together with Aya to it. Then the total that we have in our databases, and we are, when it comes to defining fintech, we are narrower. We don't have PropTech and all the other things, but we focus on payment, lending, and so forth. Sweden, leading on. Yes, it's the biggest country with 10 million people, but there is a fantastic ecosystem, in particular in Stockholm, where you have the fintechs, you have the investors, and a lot of other things that is working in there. So given the history of Sweden being entrepreneurial and building industries for 250 years. And then the other countries are climbing, but remember, the fintechs that is coming out of this region is becoming unicorns. Gonna give you a list a little bit later. And then, what are the reasons companies are failing and not doing so well? Statistics in general, 80% are failing, 20% are succeeding. So we are talking to the 20% here and going forward, and the customers or the fintechs that the Lighthouse is bringing in, it's a proper screening, making sure that the fintechs are partnering up and going forward and scaling throughout the world. But if you aren't thinking globally from day one, you need that mindset then. And then funding is, of course, a key thing until you are self-sustained with your income. Talent, key thing to look into. And then Nordic has a good formula, and we can tell it by all the fintechs that is coming out of the Lighthouse program and all the others. So this is a key thing. I would like to focus on the sustainable finance and all the fintechs that are from the Nordic and the Baltic that are on the ground in the emerging market, whether that is in Africa, Middle East, or Southeast Asia and the Latin America. And Southeast Asia is a key growing region. And also look at the Middle East. They are speeding up, and Dubai wants to be a big hub when it comes to tech and fintech in particular. And Saudi Arabia, you wouldn't think that they will going into this direction, but they are. Watch out for Saudi Arabia. We see that fintechs has matured into a global industry. We see it with the investors. They are really going after the fintechs because this is a global industry. And Europe is setting the scene, I will say, with the harmonization of regulation to it. ESG is a key area for bigger corporations, fintechs, and so forth. There are a lot of greenwashing, just saying that you are doing green, but you have to demonstrate that you are doing it the proper way. Klarna is leading one as one of the bigger one. But here comes my favorite slide. How many of the fintechs that are coming into to this area. If you look at the economy, part of the Lighthouse program, we have Investor, last year's winner, absolutely coming in. And this demonstrates, this is a snapshot of ESG or sustainable companies that are focused on the climate part. So we are doing pretty well. We just want to have more of this, and then particularly coming through the massive program for the Lighthouse. And then when it comes to investors and in the Nordic relative to the world, UK, London is having a lot of that. US is still having, just because of the pure nature of the US and in California in particular. In New York is also having. So we'll have a list of the investors on the top 5 on the latest slide. Global Founders Capital is doing very well, and we see that it's not only VCs that are going into fintechs. There are all kinds of investors coming in. So pay attention to the wider investor landscape. So Sequoia out of California, Axel out of California. Those are the 2 biggest investors. And see how they are investing, in particular Sequoia. Chain Analysis, coming out of Denmark, moved over to New York, really stepping up as a success case, and then of the bigger fintechs. Klarna is mentioned many times, and Wise, or TransferWise as it was called early on, is also ramping up quite a lot. So that gives you an indications when you're going further on your scaling route, that there are quite a lot of fantastic fintechs, investors out there that can be reached. I would like to point at Index Venture. These are they're based in London. They have a Icelandic partner. They have a Norwegian partner in there. So London is a key investor area. So get to know the investors in London and make sure you are introduced to them. So, female founders, how is the diversity being throughout the world? We did our research a few months back, and we see that 1% of the investment is going to female founders. We have a way to go. There is a lot to be done here. 9 out of 10 boards with no women. Not something to brag about. We are looking at how we can promote this, at least track it. Fintech Mundi and Findexable, we are looking in how can we stimulate to have 30% of the firms that are women-led and diverse leaders to it. So then we have the beacons. This is a top 17 list globally. We have Enfuse, Denise and Monica on it, on 8 here. They have gathered quite a lot of investment, 65 million euro. And then some of the Nordic female executives, we see, we have a list of, and we follow and track, and we have a few names that we wanted to highlight. Monica, as mentioned, Cecilia Repinski as a CEO in Green Asset Wallet. Twino in Latvia is with their CEO, and then Emma down in Denmark. I'm aboard in several boards. Scale up, it's time to step up and get out into the world. This is some information about the Norwegian part, but still, I would say that Stockholm has come the farthest, but we need all to step out. Here we have a list of 15 unicorns. Sweden is dominating, and as Mats is saying, this is a good place to produce unicorns, given the infrastructure and everything that we have around it. Some of it is bought, some are gone IPO, but a lot happening there. So this is my last slide. Nordic scale-ups. It's all about moving up and stepping out. Here are a few that is growing quite dramatically. Looking at the Sun Finance, they have close to 3,000% growth over 17 to 20. There's a lot to be done. This is a good way to step out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. I think to summarize where we've come to the program so far, Nordics is top quartile when it comes to fintech in the world, but we are truly leaders when it comes to sustainability thinking. And the Mastercard Lighthouse program recognizes that. And in our interest to become more competitive, we've said, what if we expand our scope from outside of Mastercard's core business into pure sustainability thinking? Now, sometimes, of course, the two circles overlap. And our next part of the program is an example of our thinking about sustainability, both from a fintech and from a non-fintech standpoint. With me to talk about the Mastercard Lighthouse Massive program with our Make and Scale Social Impact Vision is Eleanor Hinlopen, Program Manager for Massive. We're going to talk about...
Yes, here we are. Hello.
We're going to look at some of the great sustainability companies. And again, fintech and non-fintech. We can learn from both. We can learn from the leadership of this region.
Exactly. And as Susanna mentioned, like ESG, sustainability is such an important topic. And that's why we're so proud to have the Mastercard Lighthouse Massive program. And with us, we have 3 great finalists who are about to pitch. And the first one is a smart energy company. And they are working with utility companies, but also with retail banks. So I'd like to invite Hakan from Elik.
All right. Thank you, Eleanor. I'm Håkan from Elik, and we're a SaaS company from Gothenburg, Sweden. Really good to be here. And we're helping households to become more energy efficient. So, household energy consumption accounts for 1/5 of the world's carbon emissions. So it's a huge part of what we need to fix to get to net zero. Over the past year, it's not only the planet that's hurting, it's also starting to affect our wallets. Energy prices have gone up by more than 100% across Europe, and it's becoming a household conversation topic everywhere. So at Elik, we're the experts at making sense of energy consumption data. We provide a toolkit to banks, utilities, and tech OEMs that helps them to build digital products like these mobile apps that we see on the screen here that help consumers understand how they're using energy, where it's being wasted, and what they can do to fix it. We're now working with banks, combining our expertise in the energy space with the bank's knowledge of customers' purchase behavior. So we're using that data to really build a really perfect consumer profile to help consumers understand better what they can do to do better things for the environment and for their wallets. So we're serving 25 clients across Europe, 9 countries, from utility companies all the way to some of the leading banks. Utilities and our corporate clients, they're getting more. We're not just helping them to get their ESG targets in order. We're also helping them to reduce churn, get more engaged and loyal customers, and influence their purchase decisions. consumers are saving energy, they're changing their behavior, and they're becoming more interested in their energy consumption overall. Thank you.
And
thank you.
Thank you so
Håkan.
much. And Susanna mentioned the importance of being in London as a key investor hub. Håkan moved to London, and when we spoke with his investors as part of our program due diligence, they mentioned that as a very competitive and differentiating element. But of course, bringing the Swedish sustainability perspective. Thank you so much.
Great pitch and great team and great program progress. And the next company is a company working on transparency and traceability in food value chains. And I would like to invite Charlotte from Total Control.
Hey guys, my name is Charlotte and I'm the CEO and founder of Total Control. And we are transforming the food industry for the better by eliminating food waste and increasing food traceability. Now, imagine opening a restaurant and wanting to do what you love. Cook amazing food that everybody takes pictures of and share with the world. Scaling your business, making money, and just having a lot of fun along the way. That's the restaurant dream. But this is the reality. Running a restaurant is hard. And staff members use more time manually managing inventory, doing price variations, stock count, registering food waste, and so on, than they actually do cooking and selling amazing food. If you multiply these numbers with the number of food businesses around the world, you will see that we waste a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of food every single day and every single year. Now that needs to stop. That's why we have created Total Control, an inventory solution that helps our customers get total control over their inventory so that they know exactly what they have, where it is, and when things are expiring. You simply connect our solution to your procurement platform and your POS system, and we are closing the gap between purchasing food and selling food, making it easy for you to get the data insight that you need to be able to operate your restaurant more efficiently and be more profitable and also more sustainable. So why do we do this? Well, because restaurants and food businesses in general need to become more profitable, but they also need to comply with current and upcoming regulations, and we help them do that. But we do so much more. We're not just an inventory system. We actually help our customers trace their food from farm and to fork, as well as get automatically generated recipes, marketing help, and so on. So, our current customers have seen a 35% reduction in food waste after using our solution for only 1 month. They've saved a bunch of time and increased their revenue, which is great after only 1 month in use. We've signed multi-million euro deals with leading brands, integrated with partners such as SAP, and we're now also receiving funding from the EU to improve our technology and scale it globally even faster than we currently are doing. Our team is built with food industry experts and technology experts, and they are just darn right amazing. We're here looking for partners that want to make sure that they can increase their profitability, save a bunch of time, and improve their ESG and sustainable efforts. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Charlotte. And I think, unfortunately, that was our first female CEO. However, and certainly the first, yes, the positive news is that women are 73% more likely to be founders of impact companies. And I think that's one of the reasons we're so committed to this space. Thank you, Charlotte, for being a great example to those in the audience.
Exactly. And a certified B Corporation, that's a great thing, a great stamp. Amazing. So we are now about to go into our final Lighthouse massive pitch, and that is a company focusing on financial inclusion. They have a great team and great progress in the program as well. So I would like to invite Stian from Wakandi.
Thank you. My name is Stian Andreasen, and I'm the Chief Product Officer of Wakandi Group. 1.7 billion people in the world lack access to basic financial services. And people tend to find their own solutions to problems. So in sub-Saharan Africa, 157 million of these people have created their own solutions. They have formed a kind of a system with groups where they save money and kind of lend money to each other. Wakandi's mission is to digitalize these groups, and we have started in these 5 countries in Africa. And Susanne, this is just the beginning. I can promise you that we will go out in the world. Okay, sorry. And we have signed up already 10 million members in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania already. And what we have done is to create a system where these members can save together and lend money to each other. And they can access this without any internet on any device, any kind of mobile phone. And these groups also get a digital list of their members, which they never had before. And they can also communicate with the members. That is also new. And they can create their own products. They can set the interest themselves, and they can also create savings solutions so the members can save according to the group's needs. And of course, the system also moves all the money digitally because we have integrated with different banks and mobile network operators in Africa. So by saving together and lending from each other, they basically get access to cheaper credit. And our income model is transaction-based, so we only succeed if the group succeeds. This is a boda boda. It's a typical way of transport in Africa. 2 weeks ago, I met with this woman, Karu. She wants to own her own bike, but she can't, because the interest, if she wants a loan, is 60% a year. So that is too much. But what we are now doing, we are creating groups together with these drivers, making them able to take up loans within the groups with an interest about 5 or 6%. This will actually give them access to cheaper credit, and she will be able to earn more than the double that she earns today. And that is financial inclusion. So the ripple effect of doing this is enormous. And we call this digital or self-banking. And why do we do this? Sorry. Because the first step of digital or financial inclusion is to make them access to our digital wallet. And the members, they get a financial history, meaning that they can go to other banks, proving that they have saved so much money over a longer time. And the government also get insights they have never had before, meaning that also the tax base is also increasing a lot. And money don't get lost because it's digital, and the chances of getting robbed is almost zero. And also, the members save a lot of time. In Africa, it's very common that the entrepreneur needs to use 1 day a week to stand in line to pay down their mortgages. So we do something about that. So basically, what do? We make people bank themselves. And this is the new way of financial inclusion. So we want to welcome Wakandi in Africa. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stian.
And as you may have heard there, 10 million signups. That is an incredible number, and one of the ways in which Massive is pursuing its mission to influence the lives of 1 billion people over the next 5 years.
Exactly. And before we are going to announce our Lighthouse Massive winner, I would like to give the word to my colleague Ines Molnar from Mastercard Advisors, as Mastercard Advisors is going to release the Lighthouse Research Report today. And Ines will give you a small teaser on that.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So, hi everyone, my name is Ines Molnar, and I work for Mastercard Advisors, which is basically the consulting part of Mastercard. And what is part of my job is to actually be curious about new solutions in the market. This is the reason why we are releasing the Lighthouse Research Report after every program. And what this report contains is actually articles about current hot topics with interviews from current participants and also interviews on successful partnerships with alumni companies. But what are these topics this time? So actually this time we did 2 hot topic articles. The one is focusing on embedded finance, and for that we interviewed Kernelab and Verified Payment. And the second hot topic we are focusing on is streamlining the customer journey, and for that we interviewed 4 of our companies, ViaPay, Warity, Vibrant and Tipit. And we also did an interview with DNB and Aprila Bank on their partnership, where they are focusing on solving the liquidity problems that the Norwegian SMEs are currently facing. And last but not least, we reached out to our massive alumni companies to see how much they have grown and how much impact they've made so far. And let's see what they said. So since the Lighthouse program has been running for quite a while now, it's been around 150 companies who have been part of this program, and out of which 21 are actually massive alumni who are working towards making the world a better place and making Massive Program's vision a reality. But what exactly is this vision that Massive Program has? This vision is to become an impact unicorn factory that makes and scales social impact for more than 1 billion people by 2025. It's already 2022. So of course, we were super curious about how far these companies got in their journeys and what they are doing. So the companies that we interviewed, they are present in many fields. Some of them are in agrotech, some of them are in biotech, while others are focusing on climate change and they are trying to reduce carbon emissions. However, most of them are actually financial inclusion companies who are trying to solve problems in underserved markets. Which brings us to the question, what markets are these companies are actually targeting? As you can see on this map, most of them are targeting Africa, which is no surprise because most of them are actually financial inclusion companies. There are some who also try to scale globally, which brings me to scaling. That's something that all startups want to do at some point, but an impactful idea, it's not enough. You also need financial support, and this support usually comes from funding. So we also asked our companies how much funding they gathered so far, and I can tell you they already gathered $58 million in funding, which is amazing. But it's not just funding and credibility that Mastercard Lighthouse program gives to these companies, it's also advice. Sorry, that graph doesn't show, but it's actually showing how much all of our companies pivoted since they have been part of the program, and it's almost all of them. And these pivots usually happen due to discussions with the advisors and other companies in the program. Actually, one of our interviewees, FarmForce, told us that they pivoted because they had so good discussions with other companies in the program and saw how they are dealing with their business that it inspired them to change something about their business. And we all know that pivoting and growth all lead to changes in the number of FTEs. So in order to capture growth, we asked companies how their number of FTEs changed. Sorry, this graphic doesn't show, but actually the number of FTEs grew in almost all of the companies, and that's due to being part of this program and some legislative changes, and also sometimes the outbreak of COVID impacted them. But oh yeah, now thank you. The graph is back, so you can see like how these companies are doing. And it's not only growth that is important in the Massive program, it's also impact. So this is the reason why Massive program recently introduced, together with UNDP, the Impact Measurement Initiative, which helps companies to measure impact, because impact measurement is really key to success. But I don't want to spoil the whole report for you, so I will stop my sneak peek here and announce that we are actually releasing the report today. So I would like to thank you for your attention, and if you click on this QR code, you can read the report.
Thank you so much, Inez. We are racing toward our finish here, and on stage next, I want to welcome Susanne Hannestead back to the stage to give us the first of our awards. We are going to present the next few awards, and first up, People's Choice.
Yeah, People's Choice. We have more than 1,000 that has selected this company that you're going to hear about in a few seconds. Are we running up with a video of the announcing the company?
Yeah.
Wakandi, welcome up to the stage. Let's grab a quick photo, and I wish you had time to say something, but alas, we need to move quickly through these awards. Thank you so much. I'm sure it feels great. It always does. And next, quickly grab a photo, quickly, because up next, we have the Impact Potential Award, and with me to announce that is Mats and Eleanor. Welcome back.
Thank you. We're back. All right. Impact Potential Awards. We look at 3 dimensions. We look at the company's impact vision, impact definition, and impact measurement. And this company that is winning this one is the one that touches upon many people's lives potentially, but they're a huge scalable solution and help those companies in need. Let's reveal the winner. Congratulations, come up. Get your awards.
Again. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Smile at the camera.
Excellent. So two awards. I think that's actually the first time ever we've given 2 awards to one company. So you get maybe one word for that.
Thank you.
Okay. 2 words. Thank you so much. Moving on to our next award. This is a big one because this is the winner of the Lighthouse Massive Program. We had the Impact Potential Award and now the winner of the entire program.
Yes, we look at partnership readiness, program progress, and accountability towards advisory board members who support the companies, but also what we call the North Star score. And that is the innovation and the extent to which a company inspires those around everyone. Let's reveal who it is. Are you ready? Congratulations, Ellie.
Come on up. Come on up. Let's grab a photo. It's rare that you have this many people watching you accept an award, so enjoy the moment.
Heavy duty.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Hope your suitcase is big enough.
Right there.
Congrats. Nice.
Excellent job to Håkan. And now, the moment that most of us have been waiting for. This is, of course, the Mastercard Lighthouse program. Fintech is at the core of what we're thinking about. And the Fintech winner of Mastercard Lighthouse Finitive. Up to announce that award, Jasmine and Caroline. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much, Vincent.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, and it's truly been great to follow all of you guys throughout the program, seeing your achievement, your success with the banking partners, with Mastercard, and how you interact with each other. And as some of you guys know, it's also the first time for me in the program, so I'm a newbie in the Lighthouse team. But luckily with me, I have Caroline Barnikov, who's been with the program since the very beginning. And I think that you can confirm the feeling that I have got, at least, that this year's Finitive class has been one of the best one in the program history so far, hasn't it, Caroline?
It sure has, Jasmine. It has been great throughout the spring meeting with not only the finalists you heard today, but all the 15 companies throughout Finitive. It's been such a privilege to meet you all. And with that, it's been a really hard choice to decide on the winner. And we had, together with our banking partners and advisors, we have come to a conclusion, haven't we?
Yes, we have. And the Finitive overall program winner is a company that has, during a short period of time, showed great partnership potential and high engagement throughout the whole program. And this company has, with their innovative payment solution, filled an important need in the market. And with their new technology, they bring great value to the whole payment ecosystem. And with no further ado, the Spring 2022 Finitive Award winner is...
Let's see.
Vibrant! Welcome up on stage!
Come up to stage, Casper. Congratulations. Let us just pick. We have a really nice prize for you.
There you go.
There you go. And also some words, please.
What a little beauty here. Not you, Vincent, of course. Sorry.
Keep it short.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot, but thanks for all the Mastercard support. It has been terrific, and it's a pleasure being so far in this competition. The other companies rocks, and so do Mastercard. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Round of applause! Woo!
Thank you so much to everybody for coming, and thank you for bearing with us here. I just want to say one more thing, which is that we have a program in the fall. If this looks interesting to you, FinTech, Impact Tech, sign up, mclighthouse.com. We'll be back here next year, and we'll see you at Slush in December. Thank you so much, everybody.